All right, let's try this again. Hey, welcome to the Generational Gap, folks. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer. Right over there is John, your resident millennial. There we go. We've got a stream
Point to
going.
myself to an audience now.
There you go. There's John. And way over there, as promised in the headlines, is Jake from Freedom Scoop, slowing things down, making things difficult. No matter what happens, as long as Jake's here, we're going to have technical difficulties.
That's right.
Boys.
Yep. So we kind of tried something new. Hasn't worked out yet. So but from now on, we're going to be trying to stream to DLive, as well as YouTube. Had a little bit of technical difficulty. That's why we're about 10 minutes late. But the show must go on either way.
Yeah, I'll have to figure it out. I mean, I don't know why it works one moment and then the next moment it doesn't. I have some suspicions, but that's just suspicious minds. Suspicious
and it's
minds.
the Russians.
Yeah, it's just Russian troll bots.
No, I know who it is. I know deep down who it is, and it's the beginning of the fascism. It's what it is. So, Jake, how you been? He's giffing on
Did
us.
you say fascist?
Yes.
He did.
No, I've been good. Things have been chugging along. Pretty exhausted right now. Let me worry you guys. I logged in 10 minutes before the stream started because
your mic cut out?
Oh.
Yeah, you're it's not even picking like anything up.
Now he's faking.
Yeah, no, he's faking it now, but before he wasn't. Yeah.
Try this again. So so we picked up a new car yesterday, but it needed some things fixed. So I'm running like a bat. Doubts the car runs today. 30. You get a call that says my wife's grandmother is in the hospital.
Oh
no, she's dying. So we go up, like, drunk, right?
Sure. Because you're definitely cutting out like every few words. We can only hear a couple of words, so we're just trying to fill in the blanks, but there's a lot of blanks.
You're like that phone call where you're faking bad reception.
Yeah.
But it really is bad reception. It's
Right,
it's almost like a kung fu film.
Yeah.
Speaking.
It just keeps on going.
Oh, man.
So
what are you gonna do, Jake? Are you able to, I don't know, do something about that?
Sounds like he's got a plan.
Hopefully it doesn't require us to do anything because we can't hear.
I'm gonna move them from Netflix to a DVD.
Oh, okay. You think that'll
might
help? Sounds like
Good
some
shot.
boomer logic to me, but.
You guys tell stories for the next 5 minutes or
All
less.
right, let's talk shit about Jake while he's gone.
Oh, that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't think it's his microphone.
So
I think it's his microphone. I don't think it's his Wi-Fi.
No,
But who knows?
I don't know. It's an odd one. It's he's.
So how's the chat doing? Do we have anyone who's stuck
We've
around?
got Midget B in. We've got Midget
We
B
had
in.
Midget B in.
Well,
We only have one watching, and I think it is Midget B. I want to be like, everyone come back. Like, baby, come back.
Well, put it out there. Blast it out there.
On me.
Something screwed up. The show is actually happening.
Right.
No, so you've been doing all right this week, John? Miss anything significant in your life?
Just that work thing from earlier that I was telling you about off mic.
Yeah, but
That
that's
was about
lame.
it.
Nobody
It
cares.
totally sucked. Yeah, it sucked. Like I said, it sucked donkey dick. It was just terrible.
I don't know that it was all that bad.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot's been going on this week, John, but not too much.
No?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me
So-
get this link out.
So tell me, why is Congress so hopped up on getting Mueller to testify when he's already
Because
said he's not going to do anything but testify to the report?
like I think I was saying it on Ed's World from J. Edgar. That I think that they're trying to basically like, just punish him for not, taking down Trump. And so what I think they're going to be doing is trying to trap him to get him on some perjury charge to get him thrown in jail.
So so you think that deep down
That's my opinion.
they might actually be after Mueller?
I think so. Yeah.
Now, Midget says because of Epstein.
Well, they were going after Mueller before that Epstein stuff came out. Before he was, taken down.
Well, somebody else is what's the other guy's name that's getting the blowback on this because of the minimal charging that went against Epstein a few years back, and so he's stepping down from his position in the face of all this going on with Epstein. But he was in DOJ. Guy in the DOJ, wasn't it, or Attorney General's office? But anyway, yeah. So this Epstein thing is kind of interesting.
Acosta.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I was looking around at some meme stuff, and of course, because I'm a big fan of memes. But it was funny. This came out. Somebody put this out rather quickly, and it says, when the fake news tries to connect Trump to Epstein, be aware of this. Trump is not in the flight log to Lolita Island, not even once. He hitched a ride back from Daytona Beach to NYC with Epstein's son one time. Trump kicked Epstein out of his golf club and banned him for life when he found out Epstein was hooking up with the 14-year-old daughter of an employer. Epstein assaulted a young girl at Mar-a-Lago, and Trump had him banned for life. At Epstein's first arrest, Trump went voluntarily to the police to give a statement, and at the same time, the police commented Trump could not have been more forthcoming.
Yeah, but Orange Man is bad though.
So we've got that to go on if anybody tries to drag Trump into this whole mess, which they shouldn't. I'm curious.
It would be foolish.
I'm curious to see what
happens.
Like
this guy who's sitting down. Hey, Jake.
Now,
what's up?
See, that's what a good keto diet can do for you.
That's right. Yeah, you're looking good. I still can't hear you though.
I don't know. How do we know he's talking?
All right, now I'm back. I believe that itchiness shall. They had the bedroom streaming Netflix, and there was like games paused in the background.
Oh yeah.
Assume that was just totally.
I don't think that affects your microphone though. That's kind of boomer logic, in my opinion. It's like
He's worried that the audio.
No. I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying that your mindset is old and feeble.
Well,
oh, man.
he is streaming. Are you streaming from a computer or a phone, sir?
We'll never know. We'll never know.
Are you actually speaking or faking it?
No,
right
he's
now?
just fucking around like a dick. Oh my god.
Are you on a phone or a computer? A laptop on Wi-Fi? I don't know if he's talking and we just can't hear him or not. It's messing with my head.
Right. The solution is Steven? It's in the chat? What?
Unless at some point Jake's going to realize we're not hearing a damn thing he says. There goes his mic.
Yeah.
Now turn it back on. Just turn it back on.
Man. This is production, the show. Nothing. Nope.
Well, I would agree with that, Jake, but
I would agree with that
it's-
if I knew what you were saying.
It's a little bit askew, if you ask me. Not to belittle your opinion on the matter, but
Very provocative. Jesus Christ.
he is seriously not having fun with the audio thing tonight.
He is like the worst boomer ever.
And now,
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Now, see, there's audio.
You had the mic set to the wrong thing, didn't you?
are we back?
We
Yes.
are.
Hear me.
Yes.
I have no idea what happened. I just turned off my mic, and then I turned it back on. It was bad. Then I turned off my mic, and then my video, and then my video, or then my mic, then like I reversed it.
Yeah.
worked.
It happens with Discord sometimes. So now that it's been almost half an hour late, we can finally start the show.
Yeah.
Yay!
So we appreciate everybody coming out tonight. It was good to have you here tonight, Jake. We're
Yes.
getting
very, very thought-provoking answers to our questions. We appreciate
you really
So,
gave us.
if
it.
So
anybody is still listening, you want me to tell my story?
Yeah.
there was a story.
late?
That's right.
It's a really good reason why we're late.
Uh-huh.
So, my wife's grandmother is in the hospital right now. She is like 172 years old.
Holy shit.
Okay.
That's almost as
Yeah,
old as
she's pretty
Bernie.
old. Yeah, so they're trying to do a blood draw, like get some blood from her, and just powder came out, so it was really complicated. So
Damn.
she was in there last night. She gets put in. They don't quite know what's wrong with her. She just like turned all gray, and was like laying there not moving, and they said, "Well, how long she been like this?" And we said like 4 years, and anyways. So they tried to stuff her, but I don't know. Anyway, so we no,
taxidermy
she's
for
okay.
him.
She just had gotten really cold and was frail and old. You know how that goes. So we took her in, and they admitted her, and things went pretty well. You know, I mean, as well as they can go when you're ancient. And she started to kind of feel better, but at about 2 a.m., my sister-in-law, who lives about 300 miles away, decided she was going to drive out, see grandma before she bit the dust officially. So we said, all right. So she comes, she's driving out 300 miles, middle of the night. She goes over the pass. I get a call at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. She has hit a moose,
Oh, God.
like a real
Like a
big ass
moose.
So you know what you're having for dinner tomorrow night. Got it.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, grandma. So we.
Oh, that's good.
So she hits
I don't
a
think
moose.
you could baste her enough.
They're pretty dry, yeah.
She hits a moose. She totals a car. It's pretty bad. So my wife at 3:30 in the morning decides she's going to drive 250 miles over the mountains to pick up her sister, who's only about 75 miles from home. So like she could have just
God.
called an Uber and went home, but she didn't. I guess, I mean, we don't have Ubers here, but she's coming from the big city. So the big city has an Uber, I think. But anyways, so my wife drives 3 in the morning, goes and picks her up. Well, then she gets there, and they're in this podunk little town in the mountains that nothing opens up till, I don't know, 11 in the morning. So she gets to get to the wrecking yard to check in her car and make sure everything's all right, collect a couple of things before the insurance company gets. In the meantime, the insurance company issues her a rental car close by, you know, at the nearest, I don't know, 250-mile away rental dealership.
Right. Naturally.
So my wife and her sister drive across the country in the middle of the night. So they don't get back till 12:30 or 1 in the afternoon today. And then it was like run, get tires, stuff like that. And I have kids. So anyways, so we just got back from the hospital at 6:20 roughly. I bought pull-ups. I bought some iChew, and then no, I didn't sneeze. That's the name of the chewy candy. And yeah, so that's where I've been. That's my story. That's my life. That's why I've been so late. So don't hit a moose. it will total your car.
Yeah.
I think the easier solution is cut all family ties.
Yeah. Don't leave your house and you'll
Like
never hit a
right,
moose.
full border enforcement. No one in and out. Cut all family ties. You don't have to worry about these things anymore. 3
They're not-
o'clock in the morning,
I mean-
a phone call comes in. Yeah, AAA. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
So, how
Family-
many?
just a number.
Yeah. Speaking of numbers, I was going to ask, how many like Meese-related, incidents are there that do this kind of, total cars and things like that in
Hmm.
Montana?
A couple.
Well, like every year?
I don't know. I
There's a
think-
couple.
I can name probably 4, but that I've personally either been involved with or known somebody.
Mm.
But I've heard of more. Like you hear it all the time on the news.
Yeah. I mean, there's only like 12 people in Montana, right? So
Yeah, so 4 is
Yeah.
like 25%.
that's a lot. That's huge.
25% of drivers hit moose.
Yeah. Meese. Isn't it Meese?
Meese.
The question
Goose
is,
Meese? Yeah.
should we
There's really only
legislate?
one moose.
Oh.
just really
He's a
annoying.
very
He's just-
he's
a very
he
accident
knows what
prone,
he's
yeah.
he knows what he's doing. Don't even think for a minute he doesn't know. He knows. He's got a deal worked out with the fucking body shop. I'm just saying.
With the
Yeah.
yeah.
He's getting some really amazing corn nuggets.
Oh yeah.
He's worked it out.
They're like putting him out in the middle of the road.
He's just like, hell yeah, and that's it,
So
Yeah.
her story, because everybody who hits something has a story. Her story is, oh man, I come out of the construction zone, I'm going really slow, and the sign tells me to speed up, so I had to hit my gas. So I sped up really quickly because the sign told me to speed up, and then I saw a moose, but it ran way out of the way, so I avoided it. And then this one came and ran right into me. It ran into me. I didn't hit it.
Right.
And
Wait, is there a sign?
like,
Is there a road sign I don't know about that tells you to speed up? Is that one I've missed?
Like at the speed limit changes.
Right. Was it a speed
Yeah.
limit sign and like I felt this? I had to speed up. I had to.
Right, because it's only like 5 miles an hour up, or maybe 10. You don't have to speed up that. I don't know.
They told me I had to go from 20 to 70 and do it fast. Do it
Right,
fast.
I didn't do it by this time.
yeah, hit a moose.
Right?
Like,
Who
Oh,
makes
yeah.
somebody drive into a moose?
right.
Moose hit her, so I was like, well, what was he driving? Did he have
Right. What was he driving? Yeah.
Well, have you
Got
guys
T-boned.
have listened to the woman with the deer crossing complaint,
Yeah.
right, on the radio?
I was about to make that joke actually.
Have you heard this? The woman that
Oh, yeah.
called in on that, Jake. You've heard this before? Yeah.
the deer weren't crossing where the sign was?
Yeah.
Well, right, right.
Yeah.
Why not move the sign to where the deer can cross safely?
Yeah. It's very dangerous
Right.
for them to be crossing there.
So,
Yeah.
you guys are down in like boa constrictor country. You ever hit a boa constrictor or a python or a?
No,
Main
but a friend
road.
of mine has hit a sandhill crane before.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
And they're like about the size of probably a 6-year-old.
What
What?
And apparently, yeah, they're huge. They're huge birds.
what do you people out there think is going on here in Florida? Everybody, why do people ask about snakes? I've seen I don't know.
Yeah, there's really not very many snakes
in the-
unless
in
you
the-
go way down south.
I've
Way
been
down
here.
south.
I've been here for 25 years, and outside of a
Yeah.
zoo or an animal park, I've probably seen less than 10 live snakes in Florida,
Yeah,
and those
they're
are all
usually down in
black
the,
yard snakes.
Yeah, they're down in the Everglades and such.
Bears.
Say what?
You think of bears? Like you think bears are just roaming around, right?
Up
Yeah, of
there?
course. Well, they're
In the
roaming
mountain-
around here too. So
Up there in a less populated area, yeah, you would expect to see more bears on a regular basis. People that talk like you're supposed to be seeing them all the time down here have yet to see a bear in 25 years.
Well, I know people up here that have never seen a bear in 20 years.
I liked what Midget B said in the chat there. Let's not ignore our chat when it does come around. Verily, he said, "Damned meese, we should regulate them." Fucking National
shit.
Moose Association lobbyists and the corrupt politicians. Yeah, we need some moose regulation. Common sense moose regulation now.
I just got a message, speaking of chat, from Safa
What? You're breaking up again.
of the Congo just messaged me.
Someone from the Congo?
Prince of the Congo just messaged me.
Oh, wow. What does he want?
Me to give him money.
Oh,
You need to help him.
yeah.
To get
I
back
heard
to
he's going to give you a
America,
lot. Yeah, he's going to give you a lot of money in exchange for like 40,000.
right?
You know, you get, what do you want, like 600 million just for the small price of, 40,000? I mean, it sounds like a good
100
deal.
million?
Yeah, your mic is fucking up again.
Can you hear me now?
Kind of.
In and out.
Stephen Ignoramus, it's been a mess, dude. I'm glad you chose just now to join. Except for you missed the awesome moose story that Jake was telling. So I guess you got to look back at that. And Jake's been having technical issues, and we were having technical issues. It's been a disaster. It's been a lot of fun though,
Stephen, I'll get with you after the show, or and I'll explain it to you. I think it was something Jake did.
Yeah, Jake has been fucking with our whole channel. See,
he doesn't take things seriously. We're trying to have a serious conversation and fix America.
About Mies, yeah, very serious conversation.
Now I'm like, okay, we need to do a mic check again.
Mic check.
All right, we heard that.
Yeah, but he's fucking around again. God damn it.
Oh my god!
You're messing with Robert.
Back
Stop
to the show.
scaring
So
Robert.
what news?
Are you
What?
just really good at that, or is your mic actually fucking up? Because you might just be really good at that.
See, now he's not sure. He's like, I don't know.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Hey.
Oh fuck, man.
Anyway, hey, I have questions. I have a question about turkey.
Okay.
Is
It's
anybody
delicious.
familiar with turkey?
Yeah, I usually go for the dark meat when it comes to turkey.
Did you know that Turkey has the second largest army behind the U.S. When it comes to NATO?
Yeah,
That
but
they're like our strongest NATO ally.
the thing is though, like they're numerically, yeah, but like when it rains, they look up and they drown because their mouth opens automatically when you look up, and they just swallow the water to just drown.
So I want to look at I want to pose this question to you
Right.
from the standpoint
you
of looking at it. Keep our Second Amendment in mind and how we view guns
Okay.
properly in this country, right?
Mhm.
So apparently we have a deal with Turkey where we were planning on selling them a bunch of F-35 fighter jets.
Mm.
Now, Turkey's been establishing better and better relationships with Russia, and they have just acquired an S-400 anti-aircraft defense system from Russia. Now, we're getting all butthurt about this and threatening sanctions against them and trying to pull out from the F-35 fighter jets that we were going to give them. And the reason behind it is, A, they're getting in bed with Russia, but B, they're worried that they'll use this defense system to better figure out how to target F-35 fighter jets. So we don't want them having both of those things. From the standpoint that we take with guns and our Second Amendment, is that not a really shitty approach to take with our strongest NATO ally?
We have no NATO allies.
Yeah, it's pretty much just us. We decide. Well, no, I
So you
mean,
can hear me though, right?
Yes, we can hear that.
Yeah, yeah,
But
Hey,
you-
I fixed it.
yeah.
So
For now.
But you see my point,
Oh.
right? The point to the question.
Mhm.
Is it our business to tell them this?
I mean, we
Well-
don't have to sell them the aircraft.
are we the world police?
Oh, Cameron Michael in the chat. What's up, brah?
do we want to be the world police? That's the question.
I
Well-
don't think we should want to, but I think we, as in the government, yes. The government wants to.
So, if we're the world police, then we should regulate the crap out of our friends and neighbors and enemies, everybody. But if we're not the world police, then we should let them kind of do what they want and just make sure that we can beat them. So that's really what it matters.
Well, you also have to think that even if some kind of scenario like that happened where we had to, go to war with one of our NATO allies that we've been selling weapons to, they're not all going to band together all at the same time. Like, it's going to be a mob thing against one rogue country. I mean, that's at least the most likely scenario that I see.
True.
I mean, this
Maybe
idea.
one or two, most. There's not all of them at once.
So, I mean, ultimately, it seems to come down to the simple fact that they're getting too close with Russia. And, so, is it worth sacrificing an ally to make this point?
I mean, when was the last time Turkey was relevant?
Look, where they're
After the
at,
Ottoman Empire.
Ottoman 1919.
Yeah, I was saying after the Ottoman
World War
Empire.
One.
where they're
Yeah, that's the last time. That's 100 years ago.
where they are located geographically is key. They are a key ally
Yeah.
from their location, specifically when we're talking about Iran, Syria, Iraq.
Mhm.
Those are key places that we need to have access to, and Turkey serves as that option because they are a NATO ally on paper. So, I mean, do we want that turned against us? Do we want to? I mean, he's getting this sanction thing is beginning to bother me a little bit. He's going to sanction finances to one of our allies simply because they're getting an air defense system, and we're scared that they might figure out how to target our own jets because we're selling them the same jets we're using.
But are we currently using those? Like, is that our top of the line
Well,
standard fighter?
the official said they did
Bomber.
not want the F-35 jets to be near S-400 systems because they feared Russian technicians would be able to access the F-35's vulnerabilities. So it is my thought that, yes, we are still using F-35 jets to the extent that we don't want a potential
Right.
enemy to know.
Do we think that do you honestly believe that what we have deployed right now publicly is the best the United States has? I would say that's what it comes down to. Do you think that the
Well-
F-35 is the best jet we can build?
Well, I
Or
think.
do we have something?
Well, I think of course that we have better things, but they're not as widely available. They're not as widely used. So the things that in some kind of combat scenario, whether it be a battle or just airstrikes or whatever, those are going to be the most common things used. So you would obviously not want to have them as vulnerable.
So,
But I
would
don't know if that's even the most recent. I think that's pretty old technology. If we can look that up, that would be cool.
I would lean to think that China, Russia, Great Britain, maybe even Brazil. Hey, boys, sorry, my five. Hey, guys, can you guys go into the other room, please? Thank you. I have F-35 fighter jets coming into my living room right now as the form of 5-year-old children.
Right.
So, I would say that the 35 is probably widely known by China, Russia, Great Britain, France, Italy. I'm sure Saudi Arabia has plans for it. I'm sure a lot of these countries that are rivals basically know the F-35, if not entirely, really close to entirely. So
yeah.
I don't know how much of a secret it really is. So it does worry me that we would risk potentially profitable venture. Because, if we sell them to Turkey, Turkey's in a civil war. They
Yeah.
might blow them up in 6 months. We might need to sell them more. So that's the capitalist side of me talking. Sell them lots of jets.
Yeah, especially because I see in the chat there that apparently they were last generation. So, that means they're still going to be used probably for a little while, for another decade or so. They'll be,
Right.
still in commission.
I would expect that, unless the idea that, that's a smokescreen that they worry about them finding out vulnerabilities. Because what's interesting is that a lot of parts for the F-35s for a long period of time were being, like 900 and something parts were being produced in Turkey for the
No way.
construction of the F-35 planes.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, so is this not just some smoke and mirrors to try and stop them from getting tight with Russia?
I think that something's up. I mean, you would think though. So here's the debate: do you sell Turkey an F-35 in hopes that you buy their friendship, or do you let them go to Russia, buy the F-35, buy some MiG from Russia, and then them tie into the Russian government? You know what I mean? Closer.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
Hey,
I mean,
Take
Turkey.
your fire truck in the other room, bud.
Turkey's just going on the simple fact it's like they're basically saying, look, we need an air defense system. Why are you busting our balls because we want to put an air defense system up and they've got this one and it's good?
Do you think it might be a almost not really like an ultimatum necessarily, but a way of saying, hey, choose us or them? You know, where are you going to stand if shit goes down? You know, whose side are you going to stand on? And this is kind of a way of probing that. I mean, it could be. Obviously, I don't know, but
yeah,
something
I
that
mean,
occurred to me.
If they go out and just say, fine, I'm going to buy some MiG 17s, or I don't know what MiG is being made right now, or if they even still make MiGs, I would assume they do of some sort.
No, they made them perfectly back in the Soviet Union. No need for upgrading. They were perfect back then. The glorious state of the Soviet Union.
They were great.
Okay.
I mean,
so now here's the final thing that I want to throw out there about this, so that I can establish the smoke and mirrors theory. This missile defense system that they acquired from Russia, it's not like it's some super hyped up thing, right? It's a it's almost 4 stages, right? You have a long range surveillance radar that goes out in the field, and it sits and picks up the targets, and then it's sent to a command vehicle which identifies it and then orders the missile launch, and then from there, right? And then there's a launch vehicle, and with that launch vehicle is what's called an engagement radar, which is a smaller scale radar that goes out driving around to find the plane as quick as it can when it comes within firing range.
It sounds Russian as fuck.
I mean, this is the defense system that we're.
Neat, fire, neat.
I'm waiting for you to tell me that, like. Then they scream over to Jethro, hey, Jethro! And Jethro runs across and he goes and tells Bob, hey, Bob, you got to press that button. And Bob's like, which one? And
So,
like, I don't know, I got to go find out. And he
you said eat the mutton?
Which button? And he runs back and he's like, the red button. No, we got blue and green. So, I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds
so
like a terrible piece of technology.
So there's like 4 vehicles that have to be out there doing this, right? So, and I'm like, so this is the system you're worried about finding vulnerabilities in an aircraft that the country in question already understands 937 parts of and have helped you build.
Yeah.
So
what is the real reason you don't want them to have this defense system?
Right.
When we sold the Iron Dome to Israel, our Pentagon released that we knew how to beat it the day we sold it. So, I mean, think about that. Like, we don't sell technology unless we know it inside and out. We know all the loopholes. We can get through the Iron Dome like that if we needed to go to war with Israel. We're not going to, of course, but if we needed to.
Sure.
So,
right.
You
If
always
anyone else got a hold of it, right? If anyone else got a hold of that technology, through whatever means.
So,
it's like saying Apple doesn't build a back door.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
please.
So, I assume that the 35, we would have some sort of way to disable it, take it down, or we knew some weakness, like, if you press the red button, the nose falls off, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Kill switches are great, just flying along, you just be like, nope, boom, Just falls
No.
out of the air.
Stephen Ignoramus says he also knew how to beat it the day he sold it.
Ooh, that sounds
Ooh,
dirty.
Is there a Michael Jackson reference in there that I'm? No.
Just beat it.
Hmm.
I think it's a different kind of beat it though.
Got you.
Yeah.
Eggs. He's eggs.
Yes, he's beating eggs. Yes.
Got it. So I don't know. But there's 29
eggs.
members of NATO, and Turkey ranks right up there as one of the top members of NATO from what they bring to the table overall.
Right. Well, what Midget B was talking about in the chat was that they're the second largest land army in NATO.
And I don't think
So
it's.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Their-
yeah, and
Their
then
navy is probably not existent. I'm pretty sure it's a
Sure.
landlocked country.
But
Pretty
where,
sure.
yeah,
500.
but where they're at, it's not like we won't pick them up on the way in, right? It's like,
Right.
you need a ride.
What are we comparing Turkey to? Like Canada
Yeah.
and
I'm comparing.
Lithuania?
I say
And-
Turkey though compares ultimately is
I would say the
redundant
UK
as it
would
is.
be-
They compare to a door. They're as important where they're at, in my opinion, as the Panama Canal is.
I like what Seawall said there in the chat. F-35 weakness. It starts to broadcast the message. I have information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton.
Nicely
That'll
done.
take it down real quick. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just, I don't want to, especially when we have an administration that is telling us that Putin's an okay guy, and we're good with him, and hey,
he's
don't
fine.
mess in our election.
all
You're
good.
you're a fun guy, hang out, be our friend. Well, don't tell Turkey they can't be friends with him too. I don't know.
No, they have to be friends with us. We're like that jealous friend,
It's just
who's like friends with a bunch of people, but then if they get together without them, they're like, "Hey, no, I need to be invited." Like, no, they always show up. You don't tell them where you're going, but they always show up. They're like, "Hey guys, hanging out."
I sure as hell don't think we
Yeah.
need to
Like, who the
impose
fuck
sanctions
told-
on them.
Who the
I
fuck
think
told
a big-
America we're meeting? Like, damn it.
What was
a
that,
big
Jake?
part of it too. To Turkey,
Uh-oh. The mic.
try to.
Oh yeah, so yeah, the emergency.
I just screw with it. Can you
Well, I
hear
was
me?
gonna say the emergency siren for the for the mic is going off now. Oh, stop! See, now we can't. Now we can't trust you. Now we
It
just
is
can't
good.
trust you.
So what were you saying about Turkey, Jake?
I think that we really.
Now his
Yeah,
mic
we're
is
friendly.
cutting.
Yeah,
With everybody.
either that or you're just really good at that.
No, his mic is cutting in and out again. You have to reset it.
I can never tell. No,
No.
there you go. Wait, say something else. Okay, never mind. Do your thing again.
It does this whole reset thing.
Me?
Did
See
you try
what's-
blowing into the cartridge?
Sewell says we should
And the
throw Turkey out of NATO plus most of
So
Europe
you
and then
you
add
blew
in
into the
Japan
cartridge
and
real quick? Just
We literally eat turkey for dinner.
yeah, literally. We have a whole
With
day about
butter?
it. We have a whole day
We
about
have a
it.
whole
Like,
day about turkey.
yeah,
So, like, if anybody is going to be our ally, it needs to be Turkey
right.
and China because we eat Chinese food on Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Well, you might.
Oh, you don't?
I eat
Well,
ham.
no.
Ham is Christmas.
usually.
Turkey is
Have it-
on Thanksgiving.
Haven't you ever seen A Christmas Story?
I have.
You'll
I
shoot
have
your eye
seen-
out, kid.
I have
They
seen
go-
that
Yeah,
movie
they say
many
that.
times.
I saw that
She's
movie
the
last time on Christmas.
duck.
But sir, that doesn't mean I will change my traditions to copy a damn
You know what I don't
movie.
get? What do they call a Peking duck? Like, is that duck like really just like Kilroy up there over the
No,
wall?
Yeah.
not.
Why is it Peking?
It's not peaking. It's
Oh my God.
Peking.
Oh, so it's like the Peking.
From
like
Peking,
from Russia.
it's-
The king
it's-
of Peas, right? Like
the name of
Peking,
the region,
what
the
is it?
city.
Yeah.
The city.
Biscayne.
Ah,
If you've
Yeah.
have you ever had Peking duck?
I think I have, but
Yeah.
you have to like order it 3 days in advance for them to
Mm.
prepare it for you.
No,
I
it
took
depends.
some penicillin and it cleared right up. So
Depends on where you're at. When I lived in
Okay.
Seattle, the Asian district there was really awesome, and there was a restaurant we'd go to, and you could order it there. And it was a 3-stage meal. Like they would first do like these steamed biscuits and the skin and a barbecue sauce from the duck, and then they would make another dish. And so they would bring it out in stages as they cook their way through the duck, which was really cool and different, and cooked
That
it
is
in
kinda
different
cool.
ways. Yeah. So if you've never had it, go someplace traditional and have it. It's
Is
really
that
good.
Asian district up by the Woodland Park Zoo? I'm trying to remember where the Asian district in Seattle is.
It was what was the other thing that was? Because it was. I'm trying to orient myself to Pioneer Street.
he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't either. So most of my family lives in
It was downtown.
outskirts of Seattle. Oh, okay.
It was West Side downtown, where
West
in
Side?
the Asian district. I think it was West Side.
Or however you gang
I'm not
signs.
good. I'm not good with directions.
I don't know.
I'm
I'm not a
good-
gangster.
That's all right.
He's really
Yeah.
not. He's just a uniposer.
No.
All right.
And that's
Hey.
weird.
All right.
In my
So
basement.
I got another question here, and I mentioned this to John off mic, and Jake, I really want to hear your opinion on this too, because you're involved in media, much like we are, from the standpoint of Freedom Scoop. But Donald Trump was having a chit chat at a free speech or a social media summit, is what it was.
Yep.
At the White House. And he said something that I find to be a little bit disturbing because it feeds into my idea of where he wants to go with free speech, or where this country could go as far as our First Amendment rights are concerned. But he said this. He said, "We don't want to stifle anything. We certainly don't want to stifle free speech, but that's no longer.
I hate
But
when they say that.
but that's no longer free speech. I don't think that the mainstream media is free speech because it's so crooked, it's dishonest. Free speech is not when you see something good and then you purposely write bad. To me, that's very dangerous speech, and you become angry at it, but it's not free speech." Thoughts, please. And there goes his mic.
Scene.
What is going on? Oh, he's gone now. He's been censored.
Mike?
There it is.
He's
Hang
been
on,
censored.
hang on to
Okay,
that.
he's back.
Try it.
No, that was worse.
What?
No,
Okay,
you're
there
fine.
you go. There you go. There you
Okay. All right. I figured I'd reset it before we started, and then
go.
love it.
Gotcha.
Okay, so with Trump, the one thing I've noticed is you can hand Trump an orange, and he will say, "This is not a banana," and you go, "Awesome! I know this is totally not a banana." And he says, "This orange is not yellow like the banana. The banana is orange if it is painted orange." And you go, "Okay." And he goes, "This banana is now an orange." And you're like, "Well, okay, yeah, the banana's orange." And he's like, "This banana, this orange shaped elongated form is really good when you peel it and you eat it like a monkey." And you're like, "Okay, but it's still not an orange." So he's really good at telling you factual details that
Mhm.
technically are correct, but you listen to him and you're like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Right.
So he is right in the fact that, yes, it is free speech. But he is also right in the fact that he says it is dangerous speech. It is dangerous. But dangerous speech and free speech can both be the same thing and the exact opposite. You see what I mean? He's
Yeah.
not, I didn't, from what you said, it didn't sound like he was saying we need to restrict dangerous speech. He was just saying they are dangerous. And that kind of, you infer that he's saying maybe we need to restrict this type of speech, but he didn't directly say that.
He said, well, hold on. He said, "I don't think that the mainstream media is free speech because it's so crooked and it's dishonest." And let's qualify What he considers writing bad about good is anytime somebody, it includes anytime somebody writes something negative against him when he thinks he's doing so good.
Mm-hmm. So I'd agree with that. But like I said, dangerous speech. He talks about dangerous speech and he talks about free speech, and I think they can both be the same. I don't know. I think that the man's slightly, probably Mensa level insane half the time, because he's always like playing 3D chess, and you're like, we're just playing checkers, guy. We're just playing checkers.
Right.
We want to know if you are okay with everybody talking or not. So
Yeah, well, that's his thing. He's not going to give a clear answer, right? He's just going to
he
kind
never
of
does.
give you like word soup and try to let you figure it out.
Yeah, and that's why two people can listen to the exact same speech,
Mhm.
and one can be like, man, that guy, he wants to destroy a bunch of other countries, and the other guy's like, man, this guy's the best diplomat ever.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's
it's
why I
kind
look
of
at the
like,
results of what he does rather than the things that he says, because you can't.
like North Korea. He's
anything.
like, I've got a big button. I've
Mhm.
got a bigger button than you small, little, insignificant, retarded, wonderful, perfect, most happy men. And you're
Yeah.
like, what?
And then now he's gone into North Korea. Like he's crossed the border from South to North Korea. I mean,
He
yeah.
walked right in.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that we might see. I don't think we're going to see any restrictions, because I think that he's one that really does want open conversation, because he's not afraid to give it back. I
Yeah.
mean, he did that with Marco Rubio in the beginning. He's sitting there saying, Marco's so wonderful. He's got really tiny hands, and he's a little man, and little Marco. And then Marco was like, no, you have little hands, Trump. And Trump's like, my hands are normal size. I have normal size hands. And he kind of backed himself into a corner, but he got himself right out. And so I don't know. I don't know what to take of it. Maybe he probably will scream and yell and say, I'm going to shut you guys all down. NBC, CBS, CNN, you guys are all slanderous buffoons. I'm shutting you down. But in the end, I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I think it's
He's
like a veiled threat.
he's actually
you know?
very, very good at having his cake and eating it too. You know,
Yeah.
he's able to
He
say
always
whatever
carries the
whatever he
fork.
wants. Right. Yeah.
So I don't know anymore. I thought in the beginning I could kind of figure him out. Now I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought, oh great, he killed NAFTA. We're going to have some weird deal, and then he just put NAFTA back in place and declared himself a victor. We're like,
Yeah.
okay. I mean,
Sounds
wasn't
good.
killing us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I mean, I'm not a fool enough to think that almost every president hasn't had an authoritarian bone in his body that wanted to control what the press was going to say, right? I mean, of course
Right.
it's there. But I believe that there's enough within Trump that this is like that slow play. He's slowly conditioning us to understand that there's a need to regulate what the media does. And look at the rhetoric over the last couple of years when it comes to the media and the different things that he throws out there, and hypothesizes something needs to be done about this. Something needs to happen. We should have some way to control this. All of these things are talked about, and I don't see how this is a very far jump from right into hate speech is now illegal, and media is now going to be censored by the government in some way, shape, or form.
I hate that. I don't think any speech should be. I don't think hate speech should be illegal. First off, because it's all subjective, and whenever you have anything subjective, I mean that's like saying, "Well, I'm going to illegalize the color blue," and then everybody goes, "Well, what is the color blue? What is the definition of is?" It goes into the Bill Clinton theory, and I really see that hate speech is kind of the same thing. If we go down that rabbit hole of tearing apart media conglomerates or media personnel. I mean, I don't know if Trump really hates CNN that much. He should just offer Ted Turner to buy the damn thing if Ted Turner still owns it. You know, whoever owns it, Viacom. I think Viacom.
Yeah, isn't he dead?
Yeah.
Ted Turner's
Yeah,
dead,
probably.
isn't he? Yeah, pretty
Oh.
sure. Pretty sure.
His
Ted
spirit
Turner's
lives
still
on.
probably on a voter roll, so
Yeah.
either
well,
way.
as long as he's voting
he's
Democrat,
voting in
yeah.
Florida. He's down
Yeah.
in Broward County right now. So
Oh my god.
everything happens in Broward County. So
yeah, they're fucking terrible. Oh my god. It's really bad in Broward.
it's funny because they're one little county out of the hundreds and thousands of counties in the United States, and everybody in the whole country knows Broward County.
Yeah.
I
In
don't know
fact,
what county New York's in, or LA. I think it might be in
LA County.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's LA County.
But-
But that's funny because there's even like when the show Cops goes around, you know, they go around to different counties and cities.
Oh yeah,
it's always Broward County when they
It
come to
is.
Florida. Yeah, it's always Broward.
It's always Broward. I don't know why. I don't even know what city is in Broward. Is that Fort Lauderdale or where is Broward?
It might be. I'm not 100% sure on where. I know it's
Nobody even knows.
it's more north than us. It's closer to Georgia than it is to us. So it might be around Jacksonville or something like that. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong about that. I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Nobody knows what Broward County
Yeah.
is, but you see it on the news every week.
Oh, it's where the zoo is.
Miami. Oh, it's by Miami. See, I was way wrong.
Ooh, Miami. Okay.
Yeah, so that's way south. That's about as south as you can
It's,
get.
it's right alongside Dade County.
Oh, okay.
Broward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See,
Oh,
you
why
say
are there so
Dade
many-
County, everybody's like, oh, Dade County.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
see,
yeah.
Broward. To see,
Yeah,
just
fair enough.
associate. Come on.
And
Come on,
Bishop B
guys.
told
Broward
us a
sounds like
very
Steve,
unflattering
like-
name in the chat.
What?
Live in Steve County or Keith County. You know, it's a good name, Broward.
There's Jackson County. I don't
There's
know.
a Jackson County.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure is where Jacksonville is. I might be making that up though.
Why are you
But no, there
here?
is definitely a Jackson County somewhere in the world.
This is why he wants to censor the media.
Right,
of all
because I'm
this
just like
fake
talking
news.
shit. I'm just making shit up as I talk.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fake
I don't know why anybody. I have trouble understanding why anybody doesn't see a slippery slope there. No matter what side you're on, from the standpoint of the political spectrum, a president who's preaching this, who's talking this agenda, that's a slippery slope to SJWs getting their way, to all the different isms getting their way, and polluting us with a complete inhibition of our freedom of speech. I mean,
Now,
censored everywhere.
what if?
Oh shit!
You ready for
Uh-oh.
this? Trump
Never.
is always playing 3D underwater chess, as Ben Shapiro always says. Now, what if he's doing this on purpose? What if he's telling everybody, we need to censor media, censor big tech?
Oh, yeah.
And then the left goes, no, you can't silence everybody.
Yeah.
You can't censor media. You can't censor tech. You can't censor people's voices.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to agree with him.
That's true.
If he
Yeah.
says shut down CNN, they're not going to go, oh man, you got to shut down CNN. No, they're going to
Yeah,
go,
'cause-
no, we can't shut anything down.
Right, because Orange Man must
I mean-
be bad. So whatever he
Yeah.
says, they want to do the opposite. Yeah.
So I mean, it could be a tactic like that, where he knows that they're going to do anything he says, they're going to go against.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you
I don't
remember that one episode of South Park where like they're voting on whether or not they should change the South Park flag. And so the KKK came in and they were doing their like, oh, we support, keeping it. And then someone came up to them. It's like, hey, everyone hates you. So if you jump on the other side and support them, everyone will vote the way that you actually want them to vote. And then, yeah, they did that whole thing. Yeah. it's really good.
The other day we're driving in the car and my kid goes, look, he's 5. He goes, look, there's a crab people.
Crab people.
Crab people? And I just looked at my wife and she goes, I don't know. I don't think he's ever watched South Park. So I don't know where he came up with
Yeah.
that, but
Crab
crab
people.
people.
What are you
Crab
What are you
people.
putting in his Capri Sun, man?
I don't know. Looks like
Like
people.
no, it looks
Or
like crabs eat like
taste
people
like
or something.
people,
Taste like
something
people.
like
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah, that's great. I love crab people. They're awesome.
There's something
was
wrong
on
with
the,
you
uh,
kids.
That was on the last of the Mexicans episode.
Was it?
I think.
I don't think so. I don't think there were
Robert,
crab
you
people
need to
there.
watch that. It was great because he's like, I am the last of the Mexicans.
Yeah, the Mexicans.
Yep, like the last of the Mohicans,
Butters,
but he was
yeah.
the last of the Mexicans.
Yeah, and Butters
Yeah, they're
was
trying to get across.
some shit. Yeah, Montequilla or some shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys,
they were playing. They were playing like cops and robbers, but you had to jump the border.
But it was the border. Yeah.
Border
like-
guards and the Mexicans that had to jump the border. And
Yeah.
you guys should not
It was
make
great.
fun of immigration. It's a
Oh
sensitive
no,
topic.
it's not. It is. It's a very sensitive topic, especially now. Oh my
Did
god.
you guys see the coin that some of the border agents have been passing around? It's a mock commemorative coin, and apparently, I didn't know this. You can get the okay from the government to print these things.
Oh
you know,
shit! Let's
that
get
are-
generational gap coins, commemorative generational gap coins, and we can get those plates, commemorative plates.
But
Remember
because
those? People used to have those.
because of its contentiousness, they didn't actually get approval to make these. But these apparently have been going around. But it's a coin, and on one side is stamped, who they are, but some mockery name, and on the back it's got a triptych, 3 different pictures showing the job that they're doing, and they're like mocking their job now as Border Patrol, because one of them they're feeding an infant, and another one is teaching some kids how to use a computer, and another one is driving an ambulance, and they're like, so they're passing this coin around and to commemorate all this bullshit down at the border that's going on right now. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Fair enough.
That's something good to put in the hands of media.
if we could make generational gap coins, I might be able to get that worked. But we'd have to make them out of some metal like tin.
10 of them?
No, made out of tin.
Oh, made out of 10. Right.
Tin, like tin roof.
I understand now, yeah. Yeah, or we could just do paper and just cut them out. Do some arts and crafts. You got kids, you know.
Make them out of wood. Let's kill some
Yeah.
trees. Let's kill some trees.
What about
Nobody heard that. What about what?
Yeah, he's fucking with us again.
What about what?
the mic keeps going out?
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Because
You
you're
were
back
fucking
taking.
in.
with us.
Yes, you're
Yeah,
back
yeah.
in. So
I don't have any idea what's going on with this thing. It's like this anymore.
Yeah,
and they call me the boomer.
right. You're supposed to be the boomer. And you're the one running the show.
I can't fix his Wi-Fi though. I
No.
can't fix it.
Oh,
I'm
man.
not even sure if we have him right now,
I don't even know.
because he's going
I
to
don't-
talk
I
in a
don't hear
minute,
it.
and it's just going to be silence.
Yeah. He won't talk either, so he's not going to help us test it, you know.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, duh. What do you think?
Yeah,
You're
God.
underwater?
Right. What do you think, you've been having problems or something? Jeez.
Remember that? Okay.
That's funny because his mic
Oh,
did
yeah,
go
yeah.
out. He
Yeah,
was
your
actually
mic- yeah.
doing something.
We
The
actually
whole
couldn't
phone
hear you.
conversation. No, we have no idea what you just said.
Yeah, we actually couldn't hear you. That's the funny thing. Like, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? John, you're blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see that. I'm trying to get it to focus. There we go. He's kind of got to rock around, you know.
Oh my God. So welcome back, Jake. Again.
Again.
That was the commercial break, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah, we
call
played
it
our
a
ad for
commercial
the new
break.
generational gap wooden nickel.
The wooden nickel.
Yeah,
Now we'll put round to it on one side. We'll bring back the
I'm gonna
round
make
to
this
it.
happen. You do realize this, right?
I don't believe you. I don't think you're going to do it. I don't think you
you're gonna
can
have-
do it.
There-
I think we will.
What's the metal they use for video game tokens?
Oh yeah, that's got to be cheap shit, like Chuck E. Cheese tokens and shit.
Oh yeah,
That's little, yeah,
that's probably tin.
probably.
More than likely.
Probably something worthless. It's got like a brass coating over it.
Whatever metal is, make sure there's no tariffs on it. We're good.
Yeah.
It's like plutonium 11 or something.
Plutonium
So-
11 with yellow 5.
Yeah.
You can make it a throwback to when I was young. Make it out of stone.
Right.
All of a sudden, your connection is going to get really good because the CIA is tying into this conversation now.
Right, just boosting our
They heard-
They're like, no, we want to hear you say this.
Quick, say the word shekel, and they'll stop.
Yeah. Jesus. Oh man. Oh, what else we got on the agenda there?
Yeah, so we went over Turkey.
Yes, it was delicious. We determined
good.
turkey was delicious. We went over some other stuff in Broward County afterwards.
County.
Yep.
We got anything else in the news?
How about Epstein? Are you thrilled with all of that?
Oh, it was Mueller. Epstein, I don't know. I don't think that there's any. It's really cynical, but there's really no justice in the world at the moment. And like last time he got caught, what was he? What did he do? Like 13 months or something like that.
Yeah, but
It
the
was-
only thing that he got
And he got,
got
an
a
entire
slight-
wing.
yeah, he had a slap
of-
on the wrist charge. It was
Yeah.
nothing compared to what he was actually doing.
Yeah,
And it was only one charge, and he served very little time on that.
yeah.
So he's got one of like the biggest apartments in, I believe, Brooklyn or Manhattan, somewhere right in New York. And he could probably sell that and
$100
just
million.
buy the building the court is in and shut the whole court down.
Yeah, the apartment is. I think they said the value is somewhere over $100 million for the apartment he has in New York alone.
Jesus.
And he's
That's
got
nice.
multiple.
So if he just sells his New York apartment, like George Jefferson, New York apartment to the sky.
Brooklyn.
Robert gets that one.
Yeah, he's old.
Then
I
you could
get it.
he could just fund his whole lawyer team for like 10 years.
I think he's going to
Yeah.
pull a Julian Assange.
I think he's gonna
Yeah.
pull a Jesse Smollett and just have it quietly thrown away.
Yeah, it's going to disappear.
I think he's going to. I think he's going to piece the fuck out somewhere where there's no extradition.
Like,
you think
because-
he's gonna go to,
Islands.
yeah,
because-
you think he's gonna go to his island? Yeah.
Or
I mean-
or someone is going to take his ass out because he can implicate far too many people. There's so many
Yeah, I've
people.
been hearing that too, where he might get suicided twice in the back of the head.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Like-
there's a Clinton involved in this.
But I doubt it. He's very, very wealthy,
know,
and influential.
It
So I
could
don't know.
be like a Jack Ruby type style thing, though, too.
Mhm.
Where he gets convicted and then he's getting tried and then bam, he gets shot or shanked in jail the first week. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Maybe.
Somebody was saying in
I mean-
chat today that they need to look at the flight logs. They need to go after anybody they can find that was going there with him, because
Yeah.
those people need. I mean, this was going on for years.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, even Bill Clinton was. There were rumors that he had flown on that plane a few times. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
do we just focus on the one? Or do we go ahead and try and wrap as many people into this as we can?
Yeah, I think for sure that's what you want to do.
I think he needs to put all of his money into being transferred into the most corrupt prison in the United States.
Which one
If
is
I were
that?
him,
Do you have a
that's what I
name?
would do.
Do you
I don't
know
know.
which one it is? I don't know either.
Rikers? I don't
Rikers
know.
Island. That's what I was thinking of too. Rikers Island, but I have no idea.
I mean,
I don't.
I would just
My
I would
prison
just-
knowledge isn't that great. So
I would figure it out. Which one's the most corrupt? What was that one that lady like slept with the guys and then let him out of jail? She was like a housekeeper. Remember that?
no.
They
Where
were on
was
the
that?
run for like 2 months. I think
When
it was
was
in
that?
New York somewhere. Maybe a year or two ago.
Are you
Oh,
talking?
shit.
Are you talking about The Longest Yard?
Yeah.
No.
That's like that was
No,
a good
there was-
movie, you
there
know.
There was a lady who was like a housekeeper. Or I don't know what she did. She like cleaned bedding or something for inmates, and she like slept with one of the guys, and then brought them stuff so they could break out. She helped them break out of jail. Then they broke out and they ran away, and she was supposed to meet them, and then I think she turned on them and ended up ratting them out, saying, "Oh, they broke out because of me." And then it was like a 14-day manhunt. Yeah, it was big. It was a few years back.
I don't
Hmm.
remember it off the top of my head. I don't know.
But
Googling it.
see, now to
Google
me,
it.
if he's got the kind of money that he does, it just makes more sense to set up an umbrella company that buys the prison he's going to be staying in.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a
And-
private
Yeah.
prison. So
and then
I
then
always wondered, like, why didn't El Chapo do that?
because his money wasn't here, because he would have had to use foreign money.
I mean, you can still use foreign money. I'm not sure you can buy an
I don't-
American prison though.
I think
I don't know what the laws are for that. You know.
because he wasn't an American citizen is the thing. I mean, it's not like he would have been able to pull something like that off without.
Yeah.
But this guy, I mean,
Plus,
Epstein.
no one. I don't think anyone here
Her-
in America would pay or would take payment from El Chapo for.
I
a
just
prison.
Googled "lady helps inmates escape" and her name popped right up. Her name is Joyce Mitchell, and God
Oh,
forbid I
don't
gotta
dox
go
her.
to CNN.com.
Aw.
I think ironically the prison was called the Clinton Correctional Facility.
Oh Jesus!
Ironically,
So that's where he's
Okay.
going, and that's where Epstein's going.
Do the
Yeah.
inmates all
Get
wear blue
suicided.
dresses?
okay.
There was
So-
one stain on it.
This was June of 2015. It was a few years back. It's 4 years ago. Okay, so she was sentenced and demanded $119,000 restitution. So during the sentencing, Ryan said New York State incurred $23 million in overtime costs related to the manhunt. Okay. So they were on the run after they escaped from the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York, on June 6th. Matt was killed by police June 26th, and Sweat was captured 2 days later and is in police custody at the time of this.
Damn.
So yeah, she slept with him, and then yeah, it was intense. It was intense. Like literally, they were living in tents while they were running.
Now, was it fucking intense? Were they having sex while camping? So it was fucking intense.
So she says,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was to drive my Jeep and bring my cell phone, GPS, clothes, a gun, tents, sleeping bags, hatchet, fishing poles, and money from a package that I never picked up. After I picked them up, the plan was to drive to my home, and inmate Matt was going to, quote, kill the glitch, which was the other guy that escaped.
Hmm.
Lyle was the glitch. And she couldn't remember where she was going to go, so she got lost, 6 or 7 hours drive, and instead turned around and turned herself in.
Wow. So she probably all inside her own head and was, all paranoid and freaking
Yep.
out about it, and then was like, you know what, screw it, it's not worth it. When she probably could have gotten away with it if she, was.
I mean,
more
she got like 6 months in prison and $100,000 in restitution. So that's like a slap on the wrist for helping 2 inmates escape, ending up in
Yeah.
one of them being shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Intense. Word of the day. Intense.
Only in America.
That's not true.
Only in America.
Could be anywhere. Have you ever seen those shows that are like the world's toughest prisons and like the world's worst prisons and things like that? Those are really interesting.
Interesting statistic.
Mm.
The Russian gulags, they estimate that over 5% of the population escaped.
Really?
Yeah. So
Well, I guess
the
it's so
gulag,
crowded, probably.
right? So the gulags like tortured you, destroyed you, you died, but 5% escaped. Whereas like the United States, you don't get tortured or dead, but nobody escapes. We have like less than 0.1% escape rate.
Right.
So you can either be in a prison that's nice to you and nobody gets out, or one that's really mean to you and most people get out.
It's not even most people. 5% isn't even. I mean, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of
And like
numbers.
93% died. So you know.
So 2% were like, "Well, I served my time."
Can I get out yet?
Yeah.
You guys aren't very good at this math stuff, are you?
No.
You said 93%, right? 5%, that'd be 98%. That's 2% that stayed in. I think that the math was good.
I think
I mean, that's assuming his numbers are correct, but like,
The Russians said that there was 105% of the population in the Gulag. So
right,
that's why
kind of
we're not
evens out,
breaking.
yeah.
Yeah, I could see the math diverging.
All right,
there.
Robert. Well, tell us about the Soviet Union really fast.
What about them? They're a bunch of commie bastards.
Right.
What else do you need to know? I mean,
I don't
we have
Midget B coming in with a spicy
13%,
comment.
despite being 13% of the population.
5% escaped.
13
Because
out
we're
of
talking
10.
about Russians, right? We're clearly talking about
13 out of 10 parents agree that most kids don't understand basic math.
yeah. Not only that, but 85.6% of all statistics are made up on the spot.
So yeah, no, I don't know. Russia sucks, man. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not changing their tune. I feel it's sliding into another Cold War. I really do. I'm beginning to feel that way. And yet, but the only thing is I don't, it's not just Russia. There are going to be other countries involved in this where it's not going to be so much a Cold War as it's going to be a cold shoulder. Like we are setting ourselves up to be a
Oh God.
closed border country.
No, see, the cold shoulder only comes if we have a woman president. She's just gonna like, all right, guys, listen, we're not talking to Turkey anymore. All right, they've messed around. They're talking behind our back. We're just not talking to them anymore. So no one talk to Turkey.
We're not going to
And
tell
then
Jake.
and then we're still gonna keep talking to them obviously behind everyone else's back.
We're not going to tell Jake his mic's not working again, right?
No, we're not gonna let them know. We're just gonna let them talk, act like we
working.
understand. Yeah, it's working.
What?
What?
I told I believe he's.
Oh man,
Look, there's some audio. It almost came back in.
there was some audio, yeah.
I don't think he.
that guy.
Anyway, so now we have dead air.
That was nice. I
let's-
was like, well, at least it was physical comedy. There was a little bit of that to go around, so we can always give you
Yeah.
credit for that. Jake's our
That's true.
Chevy Chase.
Did you hear that? Jake was our Chevy Chase. That's funny.
Except Chevy Chase's mic worked.
It's true.
The high chew.
So is
Well,
that just some type of gum? I chew.
No, it's like a candy. It's really good. Haichu.
Hi. Oh wait. Oh, hi chew.
Yeah,
I thought he was saying I chew.
yeah. I like the mango one. The mango one's really good.
Got the mango high chews, a bag of chips.
Is
I'm
That's,
sorry.
that a song?
Macklemore.
None of that compared.
Macklemore. Oh,
No,
see, I don't listen to white boy rappers. All right,
yes, you do. Vanilla Ice.
that's true. I do like a couple of white boy rappers.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, so here's the deal. Okay,
There's a deal.
we go into Cold War with Russia. Russia has most of Europe tied into their natural gas production, right? They supply tons of natural resources. If we went into a Cold War with Russia, Russia would reassemble the previous USSR. They would invade the Ukraine. They already attempted it. They would finish. All those small little countries like
Mhm.
Kazakhstan and Turkey would
Romania.
would probably become part of Russia. Russia would immediately, within minutes, sever all of our communications. I don't know if you guys saw last week a Russian sub. Everything Vlad was sent back to St. Petersburg or Moscow or whatever, and they briefed him with his security clearance because there was a Russian sub that was losing power in the middle of the ocean. It was a super tiny sub. It was a 2-hole. So traditional subs are like a big, giant underwater penis. But
Yes.
this was like 2 of them side by side, right? It's like a split hole, like a catamaran almost, but underwater. And it's short, super short. but it's a nuclear submarine, and it's built to skirt the ocean floor, right down on the ocean floor, and go, feet from the ocean floor.
Stealth.
So, why do you need a sub like that this day and age? I mean, I can have a nuclear sub off the coast of California and shoot a missile that will hit Japan. Russia has those capabilities. So why do you need a stealth sub anymore? You're not going to go into somebody's harbor and start sinking their ships. I mean, maybe you will, but what you need a sub like that for, that is small with light firepower, is for covert ops missions to clip information lines. So if you think of the United States, if you think of the world as a giant grid system where you have this stream that is coming from me to you, to Midget B, to anybody else in chat right now, running through a bunch of wires. Well, those wires go under the ocean.
Yeah.
And that's why somebody in Great Britain can be watching this right now.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know this, but
yeah,
I guarantee that sub's sole purpose is to disrupt those underwater wires. So if we were to go into any sort of a Cold War, a physical war with Russia, our telecommunication systems would be fried. They would take down our connections with Europe.
You have to write them a letter, but like, hey, what the fuck?
And you'd have to write them a letter, and nobody knows how to write letters. I mean, they've already got us because we don't know how to address envelopes.
Right.
So they would sever all of our communications, and then right then they're providing energy, power to 26% or 25% of the homes in Eastern Europe, and more in Northern Europe and Middle Europe. So they could shut off essentially 30-40% of the population of large sections of Europe. Like, imagine Kiev without power and no way of communicating that they didn't have power.
Yeah.
I mean, that's big.
So now, what's the counter, do you think, to that? What do you think is the way to stop that from happening? Or I guess you would have to fix it. I don't think you'd be able to stop it outright. You just have to be prepared to fix it at a moment's notice. Or maybe there's some backup stuff. I don't know.
Counter is, the problem is we have these main wires. We only have a few of them that run across the North Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
They have what's called the deep sea intercommunications pipeline or something like that they're trying to put, and it goes from, I believe, Brazil to Africa, but it's really hard because there's some big trenches, and they wanted to run basically a wire that goes straight through there. So we could reroute through Mexico, through Brazil, but then you'd have to have a wire that runs from Mexico to Brazil.
Right.
Good friggin' luck. Okay, but so that would be the best counter, because you'd have to take over, if you, let's say it went from the Falklands to South Africa, I mean, nobody's going to attack South Africa and the Falklands unless you're Britain.
Yeah.
So you really don't have to worry. Yeah, I mean, nobody cares about those except for Britain. So I think my biggest fear is our communications would be severed, and then if they attacked like middle of winter, December, November time, Northern Europe, mid-Europe could be cut off of all power supply, could be cut off of all natural gas. You'd have millions of people without heat in their homes. So that's pretty scary. But then the question is, could Moscow survive with their standing army long enough without outside help? Do they have the food supplies?
Yeah, but
and they're pretty far north. So
I mean, not only that, but have the Russian military been at war recently?
No.
Yeah.
They took over Crimea. They took over.
Right.
What was that another little skirmish a number of years ago? They took over that country.
They might have a few people with some, experience, some actual real combat experience. But other than that, I mean, it's been a whole generation since the Soviet Union I mean,
World War II, we got our asses handed to us until, I mean, in Africa. And we were getting kicked.
yeah,
And MacArthur and Patton both said, let's keep going. And they rallied all their dead troops. So it was like, it was something, and again, these statistics I'm sure aren't going to be right, but it was something like 80% of the troops died in the first couple of battles. But the 20% that survived ended up making it till the end because they were battle hardened. They knew what to do.
right.
So that 20% then strengthened with the next 20%. That strengthened with the next 20%, and so on and so forth until we were, until the Blitzkrieg was coming and we were swooping in from behind. When the ranks broke and the tanks started coming in and we would find pockets, we had troops that knew how to maneuver behind the tanks, whereas in the beginning they wouldn't have known what to do. So I don't know. World War II history is odd because we were communicating by carrier pigeon and stuff like that. Today everything is instant, so I think people learn a little faster.
What's your favorite like weird weapon or weird thing about World War II? Because I have one that's really fun.
The microwaves that Japan built, the big dishes that fried people.
Oh yeah,
those are pretty neat. Yeah, they were
just
like
neat.
Microwaves that, and they sucked up like all of Tokyo's power for 10 minutes, but they fried 10 people on the beach.
It's worth it.
And you had to be like 30 feet from them,
right?
But they cooked you from the inside out. So that's pretty cool.
That is kind of cool. Yeah, very inefficient. But yeah, the incendiary bats were my favorite. They were just like,
ooh, what's that?
Shitloads of bats, right? That they put little tiny incendiary devices on them, strapped them on, and the plan was to release them over major cities in Japan because they were largely built with wood. And so the plan was to have them nest underneath. As soon as you let them go, right, they're going to find somewhere to nest, and they're going to go underneath the buildings and they ignite them and burns down the city. What ended up happening, though, was at the base where this weapon was being tested, was the bats got out, and they nested underneath the buildings and ignited the incendiary devices and burned the facility to the ground. So it worked. the actual concept worked.
So, my favorite battle militarily, it wasn't World War II, but it really shaped my just a second, my kiddos talking. It really shaped my understanding of the beginning of this country was when Thomas Jefferson sent over a couple of boats to kill a bunch of pirates in Tripoli, and we went to war with India. Okay, that is the coolest story ever. Like, one boat with 20 badasses that just sailed for 3 months and were sick with scurvy. We're like, okay, we'll take on this country.
Those were Marines, yeah.
They were awesome.
Yeah, they were bad. They were bad motherfuckers. Yeah.
That is the coolest story. Yeah. So, I really encourage people to read about the Tripoli pirates. It's
hell yeah,
super impressive.
Murder.
What do you know, Robert? What do you know?
About what?
Exactly. Don't know nothing.
What's your favorite? It's like tell us about World War II from your perspective.
I don't know that much about World War II. I wasn't. Okay. I've never been I haven't studied a lot about wartime.
What position did you hold in the Civil War when you were in the Civil War?
Dogging, just like your mom.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a latrine boy though.
Any other questions, son? No, I was never thrilled. I don't know. I like to be honest. I like watching movies if they're historically based movies. But like documentaries and stuff, I've never been a big fan of those because it just eventually becomes monotone to me in a lot of senses. I can read the history of things without having to sit and watch and learn about how each individual battle was fought or carried out, this, that, and the other.
You ever seen the Ken Burns documentary? Because he's really, really good.
Don't try and foist your crap on me,
Hey,
son.
I like the movie
Okay.
Patton. Patton was good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think if
Patton
you
I
was.
liked The Patriot. That was a really good historical movie.
Yep.
Very
Mm.
historically accurate. They did, painstakingly.
We Were
Uh,
Soldiers was another good
everything.
example of that. I think
Yeah.
We Were Soldiers
Oh,
was a
God.
great movie. If
By
I'm
the way,
not
I want to
mistaken,
make it clear though, I was joking about The Patriot because there are
Oh.
people who would take it seriously and be like, "Oh my God, you're such an idiot!" Like, yeah, obviously I realize that
Wait.
it's horrible.
The Patriot. I
Yeah,
thought that was based on a true story that no one had heard.
it
Mel
was.
Gibson?
Yes.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it Mel
it was
Gibson?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't
Same with Braveheart. Completely accurate.
yeah. What about
And 300.
Hamburger Hill? Was
300 is even more accurate. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Hamburger Hill. I never saw Hamburger Hill, but it sounds really gruesome.
Supposedly Hamburger Hill. That's Clint Eastwood, I believe, is who it was. I believe Hamburger Hill was supposed to be a recounting of a true story from a battle during Vietnam.
Mm.
I think that's what Bill told Monica his wife's name was. That's just Hamburger Hill over there.
Don't
Yeah,
talk
had to make
about
a
Hillary.
Sorry.
Don't talk about Hillary.
Yeah.
She's
We're not trying to be-
hot.
We're not trying to commit suicide today,
She's
thanks.
like super hot as far as sofas go.
Dude, I've said it
So-
before on this show.
Okay.
In the 90s, she had a fat booty, and that is a
Hillary
PH
Clinton-
fat, sir.
Hillary
PH
Clinton in the
fat.
90s or Condoleezza Rice in the 90s?
Oh, shit. I might have to go with Condoleezza.
If you don't pick Condi, you're a racist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would pick her anyway. Like-
Give the map.
I'm sorry, I try and make a decision on those two, but I can't get Barbara off my mind.
Oh my god.
He's like,
Jesus.
oh, that Jackie O. Jackie O.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't knock Jackie O. She was a hottie back in her day. That was a girl that had something going on. I mean, look who she was. Look
I'm
who
gonna
she
have
was
a
married
piss. I'll be
to.
right back.
I mean, he wasn't going to play no slouch.
He
So-
mic'd off.
So you don't even think that we would get to the point of a Cold War? It would just escalate into full on action. Is that correct?
Well, okay.
I mean,
so,
because understand, the idea of the Cold War is that like nothing ever really happened. There were little skirmishes around Russia, and little infractions and the back and forth, pushing and shoving, but there was never actual war on the surface.
in a way, we've never left the Cold War. I mean, we're certainly still in the mentality of we point our weapons at them, they point their weapons at us, and we have this standoff. But we're not like actively engaging, like threatening Gorbachev like we were back then. I mean, I guess you could say we are, but
Well-
now do I think that we're going to be practicing get into your bunker shelter tactics? Not as much. I don't think that we'll have our fingers on the nuclear button ever again. I think that we're too scared of the rest of the world turning on everybody.
Okay,
Us or them.
so let me ask you this from a generational standpoint. You're how old again? 30 something?
Yeah, close enough. There we go.
Don't lie. Because I was trying to be nice because you look like 42.
Some days I go like this. So
No, I'm just kidding with you.
I
But from a generation, is it possible that the younger generations don't actually take being in a nuclear capable society as seriously as someone from my generation does?
don't think we take it seriously at all.
That's my Edgar, by the way. Like the bug. Remember the bug from Men in Black?
Oh yeah,
I'm in an Edgar suit, and it's
that's actually pretty good. I
Yeah,
thought you were
that's
talking
my-
about like when you said Edgar. I thought you meant like J. Edgar. I was like, that's really
Oh
mean.
no.
How are you being so
Wow,
mean to our
that's
friend
hard.
J. Edgar?
My J. Edgar's like, Now, how are you fine fellows doing this morning? I just wanted to make sure there was no despondence upon the many of us.
I don't think
As I
he's
quest upon the
British.
starboard bow, I see the many fellowships that I have created over the years. And through the grand tracts of land, I began speaking blah, 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 blah. I give that.
And then your mic cuts out.
Or did he cut out intentionally?
No, he cut himself out. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We're back to normal. So,
Yes.
Thank God. No.
so
Yeah, you forgot to have scotch in your hand while you said that, though.
No, not a take two. Not a take two.
Right? Yeah, beer doesn't count.
what were we talking about?
Something about generations and
This is-
gaps between them.
This is a question both of you can answer.
Yeah.
Is the idea of living in a nuclear capable society different for younger generations as it would be for generations like myself and the baby boomers and those couple of generations above me who saw the advent of nuclear weapons, who saw the buildup of nuclear weapons, who spent many years facing this idea that at any moment those things were going to be launched, right? Like there were drills in schools for a nuclear launch consistently.
Yeah.
You know, it was this idea. Is it different now? I mean, do you guys just take it for granted, or do you think the younger generations than you take it for granted that it's just there?
I mean, yeah. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first, Jake?
You go for it. Go for it, John.
Go for it. Okay. Well, yeah. So obviously it's different, right? Obviously, the entire atmosphere of the entire planet is different, right? We don't have the Cold War at the moment. We're not constantly being fed the propaganda of, X is going to come and nuke us at any moment. Our technology is way better to be able to stop that sort of thing. So a lot of people have confidence in the military's ability to stop that from happening, should it happen. I think a lot of people understand the concept of mutually assured destruction. So, like, you fire some missiles at us and we can't stop them. Well, we're just going to blow you up too. So that's a huge deterrent.
Now, hold on, real quick, if I could. When you use that term, and I expected you might,
Mhm.
does that term apply to how our children are being educated when it comes to global politics, to the global picture at large? Are they being taught this idea of mutually assured destruction is an end result of nuclear war?
I don't know, because I never learned that from school, so I can only give you my experience. I never learned that concept from school. But I did learn about like globalization, especially economically. Nuking another country is very bad for you because no one's going to want to do business with you, regardless of sanctions. No one's going to do anything with you if you're out nuking people. Go ahead, Jake.
So, I think the younger generation versus the, let's say, boomer generation. If I offer you a 1,200 square foot house downtown in your whatever city of your choice versus $100,000, okay? I think a large chunk of the millennial generation or younger generation are going to take the 100,000 over the house.
Absolutely.
The boomer generation is more likely to take the house. Okay? I think the millennial generation thinks in the now. And if I survive peacefully and fine, right now, I'm totally fine. I may get blown up and die. Like, let's say, when you were a kid, were you taught about Yellowstone, Robert? Like, we were in school being taught Yellowstone's going to explode any day and kill us all. And we all went, oh no, we're all going to die.
Wait,
And then we were
wait, hold on. You learned Yellowstone was going to kill us all? I just learned that it was. I just learned that it was water on a timer that spewed up every once in a while.
Yeah,
I would
you're
worry
a lot
about Mount
closer, to
St.
be
Helen,
So,
but
You're a lot closer to
all
Yellowstone
thought-
too, though.
Yellowstone's going to blow up and kill us all. Then we were taught global warming is going to blow up and kill us all. Then we were taught germs are getting more advanced and MRSA will kill us all, or the bird
Right.
flu, or the swine flu, or the
sure.
the Bill Clinton flu, whatever. Something is going to kill
Or Bill
us all.
Cosby.
Or Bill Cosby.
Bill
might
Cosby
kill us
flu.
all.
Yeah.
So we all, I think the younger generation, our version of mortality is, if this happens and we die, YOLO, you only live once,
Jesus. Yeah.
And I think the boomer generation, the older generation, they looked at it and went, I don't really want to die. And we were like, everything's going to kill us. Broccoli is a carcinogen in California.
Hmm.
If I eat broccoli, I die. If I drive a car, I die. If I smoke tobacco, I'm probably going to die. And John just was like, what?
Huh?
So, oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. No, I
So-
quit 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Thanks.
I think that our version of we're probably all going to die is a little bit more lax than the older generation. The older generation was like, build a house, have a family, plan for retirement. Younger generation is like, mortgage ourselves to the hilt because we either want to be millionaires or we don't care. We're going to be poor
Right.
socialists.
Well, see, that's what I would have done with the $100,000
Well,
is,
yeah.
invested in things, open a business, do something where I can make more and make it into more than 100,000, where I can then buy the house and then do other things, not just having a house. So, I mean, I think
Whereas
that
I
is,
think the boomer
I don't-
generation is more like, man, I'll own a home and then I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that as much. You know what I mean?
right.
Well,
And so
is it possible that the younger generations have seen the falsehood of chasing the American dream, which so many generations before me were doing? This idea that you can still have the American dream just by going after it is not the same idea as it once was. I mean, it's totally different. That means the $100,000 is worth a hell of a lot more than taking on the crapshoot of a house, and God knows what the market can do to you, and what's going to happen with property taxes, and do I own it, and where's my money going to, and now I got to get involved in politics, and now my God, how about I just take $100,000?
So is it? But see, now the thing is that person who takes $100,000 doesn't realize it's going to be taxed at 60% the second you get it, and then so you really only get 40 grand at the end, and then you can't buy a car with 40 grand. So there you go. I mean, maybe
you can buy a car, yeah.
But
you can even
but I
put a
mean,
big down payment on a house.
But
for
but
40
but
grand,
our but our consumer
yeah.
our consumer mentality has taken care of that for us, because our consumer mentality tells us, oh, you're giving me $100,000. What happens after it's given to me is negligible. You're giving me $100,000, and that's what I can stand on. They gave me $100,000. I only got $40,000 to walk away with, but they gave me $100,000. I was worth $100,000.
For a split second, until the government decided I wasn't.
So I think that's kind of the same mentality as the nuclear mentality is. I think the younger generation tends to look at it as, if we go to war, we might die. I hope that our government is strong enough to protect us. And we kind of have, we've moved our faith from more traditional things to more of our, I don't know, we kind of don't have as much faith. I think we just assume the government will take care of us. And if it doesn't, we all lose.
Yeah.
We all lose together.
It's kind of nihilistic, yeah.
Yeah, we all lose together if it doesn't take care of us.
Wow,
everyone will finally be equal when they're dead,
See, it's that kind of mentality that makes me want to move to the mountains. I'm just, it's like, okay.
No, I'm totally down. I love the mountains.
How can I be far away from this kind of mindset? I don't want to be around that anymore. I can't picture that world, This is the YOLO generation. I mean, that's kind of scary to me, because it's almost self-prophesizing that you're going to have a low mortality rate for your generation. I mean, it's like, well, I only live one. Oh, yeah, I'm done.
I know a lot of people who just kind of live day to day. They might have $50,000 in college debt, and they have a $20,000 car, and they're working just a dead end job, and they're like, it's all we're gonna have a civil war, a banking collapse, or something, anyways, and I won't have to really deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
They just expect something to happen. Or they expect drastic change, like some socialist principle that comes along and eliminates their college debt.
Mm.
Or they just expect it either it's going to get taken care of or they're screwed forever. Or they make $1 billion by inventing YouTube. And
Right.
that's kind of, I think, this generation's idea.
Well, usually, I think it's the mindset that things happen to people instead of things happening because of people.
Because there you go. Yeah,
right.
that's a
So
good way to put
it's
it.
right. So it's something good is going to happen to be soon. Well, you can't just sit on your ass and expect something good to happen to you, right?
But
that's
that is
what the mentality is. Yeah.
yes, you can see that. You can see that very
Oh
clearly.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
In them. But I mean, we have like my generation and before we only have ourselves to blame for that. We created that mentality,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, this is it doesn't help that we've taken so many of our archaic traditions out, right? But it doesn't help with social media. Everything is in your face now, so it's just all doom and gloom constantly in your face about how fucked up and dangerous the world is. Going to school's not safe, so buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride through first grade. Have fun with that. I mean,
the thing is, so you mentioned having like nuclear bombing drills or whatever in school, right? I mean, how is that? That's not much different than having
live
active
drills.
shooter drills.
Active shooter drills.
I mean, it is different in the way that
no,
this is a chance you could survive.
We had active shooter drills in Montana, but they were like, all right, there's a shooter in the school, pull out your guns, and we all pulled out our
right. You just make sure you're quick draw, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but we always had like tornado drills.
Yeah, we had tornado.
Yeah, we had tornado drills. So we'd have, go out into the hallway, because there's windows in the classroom. You go into the hallway, you get down and cover your head, and that, I mean, it doesn't do anything, right? But that was the deal.
You guys didn't have a basement?
No.
God, sad.
No, we're in South Carolina.
Where's that at, John?
South Carolina, Charleston.
Okay, so when I lived on the east side of Montana, when I was really little, we had tornadoes. But we actually had tornadoes like all the time.
Oh yeah.
And when I moved to the mountains, we didn't have anything. Like we had lockdowns occasionally, and it was just like close all the curtains and shut the door and hope nobody comes in.
Yeah.
That was kind of our drill. But
yeah, I had a lockdown one time in middle school. It was because someone brought like a toy gun, not even into school. It was like in the pickup line, so it was like right before we were leaving school. Like some kid that was in a car had like a fake, little toy gun.
Damn kids!
And all they did was they closed the doors, they locked in the classroom, locked the doors, turned the lights off, and then everyone got into a corner where no one could see it. They looked in that little slit window. It was like one of those little slits. Yeah, so if they looked in there, they wouldn't be able to see us. And they're like, oh, they're gone, whatever, move on. That was the plan at that time.
We had the teacher taped paper across the door, like immediately across the window, taped pieces of paper.
Yeah, they didn't think that far in Florida. We're pretty disposable down here.
We had a lockdown one time in high school because a kid brought cigarettes to school.
What?
Yeah,
That's way more dangerous than a gun, than the scary AR-15. That's way worse. What the fuck?
Why are we having a lockdown for this? Well, it was because
I could have named like 20 people. I could have named 20 people who had cigarettes at any given time in high school.
What backwoods place are you living in, son?
That's right.
I don't know. Everybody had to take their cans of chewing tobacco and put them in their back pocket for an hour.
Boy, somebody's biscuits ain't rising properly. I'm just saying.
I had a history teacher who got busted drinking liquor 4 times. He still worked for the school. He just in class he always had this little flask under his desk. And yeah, it was weird. We just live in Montana. You can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Says a lot about the student body.
It's funny. I used to have a bit of a hustle in military school when I was there. because in our rooms we had those like drop down ceilings, so you could
Yep.
push the tile up and you could hide shit up there.
So you did the
Uh,
officer and a gentleman trick.
I guess so, if that's what that is. But yeah, no, because I didn't do any kind of tobacco at that time, so I wasn't known as like one of those kind of guys that needed to be searched often. So I would be like, yeah, just I'll charge you $5 a week. Just give me your shit. I'll put it up there when you want it. Come get it. So I'd put people's like this
So you
person
were
was
like-
this tile, that person was that tile, so I knew whose was what.
You
and,
you wrote their name on them.
on the
Okay.
can on the, no, I just knew which
Steve.
tile. No, I just knew which tile was
Steve's
which.
tile.
No, yeah, on the tile. I was like, this is Steve's tile. Yeah.
So all I'm taking away from this is you've never seen an officer and a gentleman.
No, I don't believe so.
Neither one of you. Oh my God!
See, I thought he was just disappointed in me, but I guess it's just you.
No, both of you.
Yeah.
I mean, you seriously, you've never seen that movie.
No.
Oh, you got to see it.
I've seen A Few Good Men. That was a good movie.
Yeah,
I don't know how related they are, but
officer and a gentleman, goes further
I've seen
past
No
that.
Country for Old Men.
I have not seen that.
Oh, Rip
It's a good
Torn
movie.
died. In
Rip
the
Torn,
news.
Rip Torn
Rip
did
Torn.
die.
Torn.
So sad.
Rip
I
and
was
Torn. Yeah. You can
My
rip in
favorite
peace.
movie by him. I can't remember the name of it, but they're these three old sailor guys, and they want to hire. I think the one's wife dies or something, so they want to hire like a nanny lady to kind of like housekeep and take care of them and stuff like that. You guys ever seen this? Has
No.
Rip Torn in it? Oh my god! So they put out an ad in the paper so they can come, so that she can come, interview. And this lady shows up, and she's a big, heavy lady, or they think that that's the lady. And he goes, "Oh no, oh no." He goes, "Well, she'll keep you warm in the winter, and she'll give you shade in the summer, but we won't have enough money to feed her." Pretty great.
That's not very nice.
It is good. Somebody else
Very
died too.
No fat
Who else
shaming.
died?
She turned out to be this foxy lady that was like taking care of him, and yeah, I don't know. It was a good movie. I should Google that and find out what it was called.
Yeah.
Why are you
Somebody
saying-
else died too. Who was it? Do you guys know?
I don't. I remember hearing about Rip Torn, but
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody else died.
there was.
Well, I meant somebody else who people care about.
Oh,
Yeah.
So not a politician.
Right.
not a politician.
All right,
Right.
so
I don't know.
we're going to be done with all this because
Yeah.
you guys are. Listen, I will say this: if Richard Gere, Deborah Winger, Louis Gossett Jr., Officer and Gentleman, it is a must-watch.
Look right here.
If you enjoy the military at all, it's a must-watch.
All right. I
And,
guess I might
and
watch
I
it.
dare you not to have shed a tear.
I'm
even
pretty
one.
good at that. I'm
Even
pretty
one.
good at that. So if you want to put
Even
money on it,
even misting
It'll
up
be even
counts.
better.
Misting up counts.
Misting
oh,
up
that can't count.
It does.
The
As
tier
long
has
as
to
you're
roll-
honest. As long as
No,
you're
the tier-
honest, it counts.
The tier has to roll out
No,
like it has to
Not
be outside.
necessarily. You could tear up, but not
I don't
tear.
think so.
but you cannot cry.
If you sob,
Like a
you're, well,
Obviously, that's a
you're allowed to. Richard, it is a heart wrenching movie. But anyway, please watch it, Officer and a Gentleman. Get
Yeah.
back to me on this. I strongly recommend it. Great movie. In fact, I think I'm going to watch it tonight. I wish I
You
knew
do
where I could
that.
find it. Anyway, we're going to get the hell out of here. Hey, Jake
Yeah.
from Freedom Scoop, you're awesome. We like having you here. Whenever
you're
you
not
can,
so bad for a white boy.
I don't know. Maybe you need to get some better technology. I don't know. You're
Yeah.
looking all fancy and everything. You think you get a better mic.
He spent too much
Yeah.
money on the coat. That's all it is.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
It's always the
I
case.
know. I need to get like an actual webcam mic system, but then you'd hear all my kids in the background.
We already hear your kids in the
Oh
background.
yeah.
Hey, boys!
Did you
Go
think that
away.
thing was
Look.
noise canceling? You
No,
believe
no, I'm
that
serious,
part?
okay? Go away.
You
Anyway,
just throw the book at
Go
him.
read a book.
hey, sorry for the technical issues at the beginning. We're going to try and get ourselves set up to where we're hitting D Live and YouTube at the same time once I figure out what Jake messed up. And John, they can find us somewhere. Tell them some stuff so I can
Find
point.
us a couple of places now. Yes, they can find us on Twitter at the Gen Gap P. Find us in our Discord server, which the link is down below there. And then they can find us at the awesome and illustrious and amazing freedomscoop.com, who this guy is part of. And there's some other people there too, but they're not as interesting or awesome as us. But they're still pretty good. You should check them out. And then now, hopefully, from Monday on, we'll also be on DLive, which the link will be in the description underneath. So come check us out. We'll be there.
Sweet. All right, we're going to get the heck out of here. Tell the kids good night. Good night, John Boy. Good night,
night,
Mary
kids.
Alien. Mary Alien. I love it.
Yeah.
Folks, if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And we're going to get the hell out of here. We'll see you Monday night at 9 o'clock for our next Shoot in the Shed. And then
Yes.
we'll be back again next Friday at 8:30. Maybe we'll have things sorted out. And if we don't, Jake will be back to take the blame. So
Right.
until then, we're going to get the hell out of here. Have yourselves a great night, folks.
Yep, see you guys.